On behalf of the students of the British International School, I am honored to welcome Professor Ngo Bao Chau, the 2010 Fields Medal recipient, as your keynote speaker in the 4th ASEAN event series, Bridges, Dialogues Towards a Culture of Peace. This visit is facilitated by the Vienna-based International Peace Foundation and Vietnam's Ministry of Education and Training. Professor Ngo Bao Chau is a fifth keynote speaker visiting Vietnam as part of the 4th ASEAN Bridges program, after the visits of Economics Nobel Laureate, Professor Roger B. Meyerson, Medicine Nobel Laureate, Professor Harold Surhausen, Physics Nobel Laureate, Douglas T. Osherhoff, and Chemistry Nobel Laureate, Professor Sir Harold W. Prono. The 4th ASEAN Bridges event series follows from 450 events, which the International Peace Foundation has hosted in Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Cambodia since 2003. 38 Nobel laureates, as well as 18 other keynote speakers and artists, have participated in these events, aimed to support education in the ASEAN region. These speakers have included Vladimir Ashkenazi, Dr. Hans Blix, Jackie Chan, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Vanessa May, Dame Anita Roddick, Oliver Stone, and Dr. James Wolfenson. The program deals with the overall theme of building a culture of peace and development in a globalized world, bridging Vietnamese and foreign perspectives. The topics cover a wide range of issues, and especially highlight the challenges of both globalization and regionalism, and its impact on development and international cooperation. The aim of Bridges is to facilitate, as well as strengthen dialogue and communication between societies in Southeast Asia with multiple cultures and beliefs, as well as with peoples in other parts of the world, to promote understanding and trust. These events build bridges through Nobel laureates with local universities and other educational institutions in Southeast Asia to establish long-term relationships which may result in common research programs and other forms of collaboration. By enhancing science, technology, and education as a basis for peace and development, the events aim towards better cooperation for the advancement of peace, freedom, and security in the region, with the active involvement of the young generation, ASEAN's key to the future.
Professor Ngo Bao Chau is a mathematician at the University of Chicago. He was awarded the Fields Medal in 2010 and is best known for proving the fundamental lemma for automorphic forms. Professor Chau was born in Hanoi in 1972, and at the age of 15 was admitted into the mathematics specializing class of the Vietnam National University High School. In grades 11 and 12, he participated in the 29th and 30th International Mathematical Olympiad and became the first Vietnamese student to win 2 gold medals, of which the first was one with a perfect score. After high school, Ngo Bao Chau went to study at the École Normale Supérieure. He obtained a PhD in 1997 from the University Paris-Sud. He became a member of the CNRS at the Paris Trees University, where he stayed from 1998 to 2005. Professor Chau became a professor at Paris-Sud University in 2005. Also in 2005, he received the title of professor in Vietnam and became the youngest professor in Vietnam at the age of 33. Since 2007, he has worked at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. He joined the mathematics faculty in the University of Chicago in 2010 and was appointed in 2011 by the Prime Minister of Vietnam to head the Vietnam Institute for Advanced Study in Mathematics in Hanoi. In 2010, Professor Chau was awarded the Fields Medal in a ceremony at the International Congress for Mathematicians in Hyderabad. He was praised for his brilliant proof of a 30-year-old mathematical conundrum known as the fundamental lemma. This proof offered a key stepping stone to establish and explore a revolutionary theory put forward in 1979 by Canadian-American mathematician Professor Robert Langlands that connected 2 branches of mathematics called number theory and group theory. It's as if people were working on the far side of the river waiting for someone to throw a bridge across it. Professor Peter Sarnak, a number theorist at the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, set up Professor Chau's historic breakthrough. And now all of a sudden, everyone's work on the other side of the river has been proven. Professor Chau's proof of the general case was selected by Time magazine as one of the top 10 scientific discoveries in 2009. The Fields Medal, founded by Canadian John Fields and first awarded in 1936, is widely viewed as the highest honor a mathematician can achieve. We are honored and delighted to welcome Professor Chau to throw some bridges across our intellectual and social rivers here at the British International School. I would now like to welcome Mr. Richard Dyer, our head teacher at BIS, to deliver his opening address.
Ladies and gentlemen, students, honoured guests, Mr. Bednarek, Mr. Moravec, Professor Ngo Bao Chau. It is indeed a great honour and a privilege for the British International School here in Ho Chi Minh City to host today's International Peace Foundation's Bridges Dialogue and to welcome Professor Chau, one of the most distinguished mathematicians of our time and the first Vietnamese recipient of the highest honour in mathematics, the Fields Medal. It's a particular privilege for the British International School to be able to support the cause of the International Peace Foundation. It's a cause very close to my heart, very close to the hearts of all of the British International School community. As a head teacher, I very rarely get the chance these days to talk about my specialist subject. The subject I spent some 25 years of my career teaching. That subject is mathematics. And now I have a stage, I have an audience, and I have one of the world's top mathematicians who can't resist spending a few moments. So please indulge me just for a few brief moments while I share some of my thoughts about mathematics, about the mission of the British International School, about the mission of the International Peace Foundation, and how that connects today with this event. Mathematics is awesome. And I don't mean that in the way that the word awesome is so commonly used today. The word awesome has been overused. It's lost some of its power, lost some of its glow, lost some of its importance. Perhaps I should say instead, mathematics is awe-inspiring. It has huge potential to inspire awe and wonder, to arouse enormous respect and even fear and anxiety. That's the nature of awe. That's the nature of things that are truly awe-inspiring. Let me see if I can bring that home to you, to make that real to you in some way. All of us here in the room have, at some point in our school lives, some point in our education, have had experience of that most fundamental of quantities in mathematics, that number that results in measuring the distance around the outside of a circle and then dividing that by the distance across the centre. Do this with any circle, anywhere, at any time, and out pops that number, which starts off 3.141519265358979323, and it goes on and on and on forever. Never repeating, never showing any form of pattern. Mathematicians call it irrational. Mathematicians call it transcendental. And those are evocative and awe-inspiring terms in themselves. Isn't that strange? One of the most fundamental quantities in the universe has no pattern, never repeats. It pops up later in mathematics with alarming frequency, connecting branches of mathematics that previously had seemed disconnected, building bridges, if you like. That number is so fundamental to mathematics that we all call it by the same name, whatever culture we're in, whatever country we're in. That number is pi. And even in school, we get a brief glimpse of its central role in building bridges between diverse areas of mathematics. Some of our older students will have a glimpse of that when they encounter Euler's famous formula, e to the I pi equals -1. That formula fills me with a real sense of awe and wonder. You might think I'm strange, but sometimes I look at that and I'm absolutely fascinated by its power, its complexity, behind its simplicity. And that number kept popping up for me in my fumblings with elementary mathematics after leaving school. I remember a particular moment when I discovered that with a plain piece of A4 paper and a pencil and a few short lines of mathematics, you could describe the structure of space and time. And with a few more lines of mathematics, you could predict the existence of a black hole without leaving your chair, without leaving your room. A pencil, a piece of paper, a few lines of symbols. If that isn't awesome, I don't know what is. If we regard mathematics as a tool, it surely must be one of the most significant and powerful tools that humankind's ever invented. To have Professor Chau, one of the world's most distinguished mathematicians, turning his mathematical talents to the cause of peace and intercultural understanding and cooperation is surely an awesome and an awe-inspiring use of that tool. As a school, we have a well-established bridge that connects us already to the International Peace Foundation and to the work of the Bridges Programme. It's a pleasure today to be supporting the work of the Foundation. Our students here at the British International School are all working towards the diploma of the International Baccalaureate. At the heart of the International Baccalaureate, the IB, lies a mission statement. That mission statement is to create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding and respect. The IB has a mission which is unashamedly altruistic and audaciously ambitious and awe-inspiring in itself. We're proud to be involved, we're proud to help our intelligent, articulate, caring young global citizens sat here before me today to prepare to step up and play their part for the future peace and security of the world that we pass on to them. We're proud, therefore, also to play our part as a school in supporting the International Peace Foundation in their mission, and perhaps install a sense of awe and wonder in the young hearts and minds here today. Now it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage our distinguished guest, the mathematician who first proved the fundamental lemma for Lie algebras and also for unitary groups, the recipient of the Oberwolfach Prize and the Prix Sophie Germain de l'Académie des Sciences de Paris, head of the Vietnam Institute for Advanced Study for Mathematics in Hanoi, and recipient of the 2010 Fields Medal for proving the fundamental lemma of the general case, and the first recipient from a less economically developed country. Please welcome Distinguished Service Professor at the University of Chicago, Professor Ngo Bao Chau.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear students, I'm very happy today to have opportunity to talk with you. We'd like to thank the International Peace Foundation for setting up this wonderful program, which dialogue towards a country of peace, and for the British International School for the warm welcome together. When I was invited by Mr. Ngo Bao Chau, chairman of the International Peace Foundation, to give talk to the conference in this program, Bridges. I immediately think that I should talk about this question, how we learn. This one of the questions that puzzled me for a very long time. And many people ask me what is the method, what is the secret to learn. Good learning. And it was extremely difficult questions. You cannot answer it well in one sentence, because how we learn is almost as difficult to say how we live. It's a subset, but it's rather a large subset. And if somebody give a short answer about this, it would be misleading. So since I don't have time to be long talk about how we learn today, I would rather have a discussion with you about this thing. But before we start talking, I may want to lay the theme in some smaller questions so that we can have more effective discussions. So I would divide, split how we learn into 3 smaller questions. What is motivation of learning? I already have prepared my own answer for that. I would rather enjoy to hear from you. What is your own motivation of learning? And the second question is, what we learn? And just to give a suggestion, I would want to cite really assertive sentence of Hannah Arendt about this. I agree with what say Hannah Arendt, but maybe not. So what she says is, the mission of school is to teach children what is the world, and not the art of living. So you may or may not agree with what say Hannah Arendt, but I want to just to cite this so that we can reflect upon, so that we can have more instructive discussion. So if you develop how to learn the world, there are, of course, there's natural world, the world around us, and there are human worlds. So what should we learn from human worlds? And what should we learn from the nature? So from that point, we can develop more firm basis on the question of how we learn. So I would rather enjoy to hear from you what you think, how we learn. I would say right away my point of view, so that you can reflect upon it and comment about it. But I don't have time to develop, so I should give only 3 keywords about how we learn. So my 3 keywords are, first, discipline, second, passion, and third is courage. So now I return to the table, and so that we can start a discussion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, students, we have a rather unique opportunity here to engage, as Professor Chau described, in a dialogue, so that not only we can learn insights from him,